Up next on First 4 News, how the Magnificent Seven are inspiring a whole lot of Bay Area youngsters to get into the act on the mats. Meanwhile, they are called the Magnificent Seven in Atlanta, the young women representing America on the gymnastics front. Even before the Olympics began, the world was expecting great things from the Mag 7, which includes San Jose's own Amy Chow.
That's right. The Bay Area native spent lots of time at the West Valley Gymnastics Club in San Jose on her road to Atlanta. And right now, as you might expect, business at that club is booming. News Center 4's Carl Sonkin joins us from outside Amy Chow's old stomping grounds with details. Carl?
Well, I'm telling you that at this point, some of the youngest would-be Olympians are going through their warm-up exercises here at West Valley. And we can't tell if there's a Mary Lou Retton or an Amy Chow among them, but the phones are ringing off the hook at the school. Victoria Clayton isn't exactly an Amy Chow, but her mom has high hopes for the 2-year-old.
Well, she has that ability. She likes to tumble, and she started doing somersaults when she was about 1.
Victoria's taking lessons at West Valley Gymnastics, where Amy Chow trained for 15 years.
Look down, sit up.
With Amy at the Olympics, her teammates keep right on practicing. Her soon-to-be teammates keep learning new tricks and practicing. And whole groups of kids who've probably never heard of Amy Chow get lessons because their parents have.
I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I'm curious about classes for her, say,
The voicemail at the club is full as parents hurry to enroll their kids.
I think it's in the back of their minds. I mean, I think the first thing is their children are having fun, and it's a great sport, and they're learning, just general motor skills, and, it's also just a plus to have an Olympian at the gym that their 2.5-year-old's coming to.
Ironically, here they don't have cable television, so a lot of these young girls are going to be heading home to watch Amy Chen when the Olympics come on at 5 o'clock. Back to you now.
All right. Actually, 4:30. Thank you, Carl.
All righty. Here is the medal count at this hour right now. The United States, 18 medals. Russia, Germany, the Bay Area now moving along.
The Summer Games resume right here on Channel 4 in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Equestrian, 3-day team. It's the greatest test, the endurance phase. Here, you lose if you fall, if rider and horse fail to compete in harmony. Jeff Rouse winning an Olympic title, that would complete and validate a long, rich swimming career. 14-year-old Amanda Beard. Losing doesn't worry her because at this point, few expect her to win. The American sprint relay team. Losing isn't something they think about because they never have. Winning the United States' first ever women's team gold in Olympic competition. Now that is actually a possibility in 1996 at the Centennial Olympic Games. Tonight at the Georgia Dome, one of the most anticipated competitions of these games, the U.S. women, who appear to be in sync, as you see, with a chance to claim a first ever gold in the gymnastics team competition. It's day 5 of the Centennial Olympic Games. This is Studio 1 at the International Broadcast Center. Hi again, I'm Bob Costas on what could be an historic night for the American women in gymnastics. The 1928 Amsterdam Games, that's when the team competition was first held, and since then, America has 3 medals, but none gold. This is generally considered the best U.S. team ever. They've been dubbed the Mag 7, as in magnificent. They go by the names Miller, Moceanu, Dawes, Strug, Borden, Chow, and Phelps. Lots of women's gymnastics tonight, and we want to give you a look at one of the scenes from gymnastics. Here are the 2 Bella Caroli students, Kerri Strug and Dominique Moceanu. Strug was with Caroli, left, and then returned to Bella prior to the Olympics. The 14-year-old Moceanu first walked into the door of Caroli's gym at age 9. Actually, I hope she walked through the door rather than into it. That would have been painful. Now let's shift gears briefly. Gymnastics and Caroli. I guess you can't have one without the other. Born in the Transylvania coal mining town of Vulcan, his entrance onto the world stage came 20 years ago. He was 33 then. The Romanian head coach about to unveil a 14-year-old who would change the sport. And with more on that story, we welcome Katie Couric back to Studio One. Hi.
Hi, Bob. Nice to see you again. Believe it or not, it was 20 years ago on a July night at the Montreal Forum. A little waif from Romania named Nadia Comaneci thrilled the world and made all scoreboards obsolete.
AT&T, bringing you a world without limits, presents Centennial Olympic Moments.
I think a lot of people don't know how many medals I won in '76, but they do remember that 10. I didn't realize that it's that hard to get a 10, and I didn't know that I was perfect to get a 10.
I didn't know, what kind of trend-breaking momentum is. What kind of historical momentum is that one? We took it normal. We took it like casually. Oh, great, we've been it.
In Montreal, no one was prepared for Nadia. The scoreboards only went as far as 9-9, but that did not account for perfection. So the judges posted a 1 7 different times during the games.
That was on my mind all the time. I hope my mom is watching me and see what I'm doing, because I didn't know they were broadcasting live. It was midnight at home, and she never came to training. She never watched me in a competition before. I thought she's going to see what I did. When I competed on beam, she was watching me under the table. She couldn't stay on a chair because she was afraid that I'm going to make a mistake. So she was under the table and with the arms like this so she can, close the fingers and watch through the fingers. And when my mom heard the crowd, she asked my brother, did she fall? That was she asked. And then the only thing she saw was the replay. She didn't have the strength to watch me live. My mom was proud of me because I was her daughter. She had no idea that this is going to take me so far.
What Nadia gave to the next generation of Romania's daughters was a legacy of perfection. In 2 decades, much has changed in Romania, but Nadia's legacy remains. An expansive gymnastics family that is present at every Olympics since Nadia first brought glory to her country.
As many people are aware, there was a marriage of gymnastics royalty in Bucharest, Romania on April 27th of this year. Nadia marrying American gymnastics star Bart Connor. The wedding was declared an official state ceremony and televised throughout Romania. It was held in the country's parliamentary palace. And we should add this note, Comaneci and Connor is a union of 11 Olympic medals, 7 gold medals between the two of them. I can only imagine their mantle.
Well, either that or they better have a very secure safe deposit box.
Exactly.
She was one of a handful of great Olympic athletes of the past introduced at the Olympic Stadium for the opening ceremony.
She was, and I was speaking with her this morning, Bob, and she said it was such an incredible moment for her. It meant more to her than winning the gold medals. I thought that was something.
Both she and Bart obviously retired from competition, but still involved in the sport.
Right. They're running a gymnastics academy in Norman, Oklahoma, but apparently they travel all across the country. They're serving as ambassadors for their sport. They're trying to elevate gymnastics to the level of professional figure skating and trying to organize a tour similar to those we see in figure skating these days.
Katie, thanks a lot. See you tomorrow night.
All right, Bob.
And another reminder, we'll have the second and final day of the women's gymnastics team competition in about an hour. This is the night they give out the medals, and the American team has a legitimate shot to win the gold, something that has never happened for the United States in Olympic history. Next, women's gymnastics, the team competition, one of the most anticipated events of these games. The American team has never won Olympic gold. There's a big, noisy crowd of 32,000 plus at the Georgia Dome, and that competition is just ahead.
Still to come from the Centennial Olympic Games, the Magnificent Seven among the Final Four. Russia, Ukraine, Romania, and America. 4 serious medal contenders in the second and final day of the women's team competition. NBC's coverage will continue following your local news. Welcome back to the Centennial Olympic Games. Your host, Bob Costas.
It's been a very big night for U.S. swimming here. 5 medals, 3 gold, plus a silver and a bronze. 17 medals altogether now, with 3 days of swimming competition left. Right now, we turn to women's gymnastics. As promised, the team competition, and the United States, which has become a power in recent years, now looking to become the power. Over to the packed Georgia Dome we go to join Elfie Schlegel, Tim Daggett, and John Tesh.
There's something in the air on this warm Olympic night. Do you feel it? Little girls dancing. Do you see? That's good. 2 days ago it began. Young women soaring. Grown men crying. It was the best performance in history for the Americans in the first half of their quest for the ultimate prize. Tonight, they will have new photographs for their family album. Their prayers are for pictures framed in gold. Russia, no longer the specter of evil, but still the threat of beauty and perfection. No longer the hammer and sickle army, but still the 7 strongest in the world. The force that joins them is flesh and blood, yet no one knows why Arkayev's Russians never lose. They've lived their lives through a revolution that claimed their families. The blade of grief keeps them strong. They will always be the Princesa, always Romania's shining stars. Their prayers this evening are to keep the legacy of Nadia forever. These are the faces of 7 young American girls who tonight have their best shot in history of becoming Olympic champions. There's something in the air this warm Olympic night. Do you feel it? Little girls dancing for gold in the Olympic Games. Marching as to war, these 7 little girls. It has all come down to this, the first chance this crowd of over 30,000 here in the Georgia Dome is getting a chance to see a ladies' final
in gymnastics, the team competition. And they are as cool as they can be. Game faces for all of them. A tremendous amount of pressure from this home field crowd. The four top teams here: Russia, the United States, Romania, Ukraine. And you are hearing the U.S. team being announced to this crowd who are on their feet. Dominique Moceanu, Kerri Strug, Dominique Dawes, Amy Chow, Shannon Miller, Jaycie Phelps, Amanda Borden, they are all here. And really, for the first time in history, with a tremendous chance, the best chance they have had in history to win a gold medal. Hi again, everybody. John Tesh, along with Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel. I know you can feel the excitement. So can we. Hopefully, for the Americans, they won't feel too much of it, Tim.
Well, you know, this is a pressure-packed situation, and actually, they've never really been in this situation before. Many of the other teams, the Romanians, they've been second so many times, but they're the current world team champions. The Russians, with the tradition there from the former Soviet Union, they've all been there before, except for the Americans, but I'd say it's the deepest team out on the floor tonight is the USA gymnastics team.
You looked at the Romanians on the beam. The Americans will start on the uneven bars. How do you feel about them starting there first?
Oh, I think it's a perfect position for the U.S. team to be starting on uneven bars. They've been in this position before. I think they're very comfortable. I certainly wouldn't want to be starting on balance beam because a lot of things went crazy in the compulsory team competition, but they're great on this event, John. They can post some pretty high scores and feel good about it.
I spoke with Nadia Comaneci about 1 hour ago, and she said that she thought it was an advantage for the Romanians to start on the beam because she said they would get it out of the way. She did say that these injuries are really going to hurt them. We'll fill you in more on that a bit later on. There was a shot of Nadia. The Russians, who are of course leading, they are going to be on the vaults. All right, let's give you a look at the standings after the first half of this competition. After the compulsories, Russia, the United States is 1/10 of a point behind them, followed by Romania, Ukraine, China, and Belarus. We will just see the top four teams. China and Belarus competed earlier as we get a look at Kerri Strug on the right of your screen and Jaycie Phelps. The competition will begin with the Americans on bars in a moment. NBC's coverage of the Centennial Olympic Games is brought to you by Bell South, keeping you ahead of the game, and by Haynes and Haynes Herway, proud sponsors of the U.S. Olympic teams from head to toe. Welcome back. Jaycie Phelps will be first for the Americans on bars. Again, the Americans will compete on bars, all 6 team members. There are 7 team members. They're allowed to use 6 members on each piece of apparatus, and then you drop the lowest score, which leaves you with 5. And remember, the Romanians only have 6 team members, so each one of them will have to go on each of the 4 pieces of apparatus.
We talked about the importance of the first competitor. They start the move, the whole, a lot depends on this young lady. And remember, she had a fall in the compulsory competition off the balance beam. So for herself, she needs to put in a great exercise to start this Team USA off right.
Jaycie is 16 years old, training in Cincinnati, Ohio with Mary Lee Tracy, who's also one of the Olympic coaches along with Marta Karoli. You can hear the floor exercise music from the Ukrainians in the background here.
John, I talked about the strength of this U.S. team on this particular event. What I meant by that is they have difficulty throughout the entire routine from start to finish. There's no dying out in this routine. Very well composed exercises.
Relatively new dismount for Jaycie. Handles it well. Jaycie Phelps gets the Americans off to a strong start.
In her first Olympic Games. And that is pressure personified.
Tim talked about a relatively new dismount. She actually unveiled this dismount at the World Championships this past year in Puerto Rico. It's a double front salto. This is where she usually ends, but she cranks in a half twist. That's new. Very impressive.
6 judges from 6 different countries. They will throw out the high and the low. Jaycie will sit and wait for her score while the next competitor on bars for Team USA, Kerri Strug. And a 9.787, a tremendous start for the United States.
Remember, scores tend to build, so that is huge right off the bat.
Kerri Strug, 18 years old. Remember her from the Barcelona Games? Also remembered as the gymnast edged out by pre-Olympic favorite Kim Zmeskal for that 3rd and final American berth.
Big release skill out of the way. Kerri has one more planned.
She was so solid in compulsories.
Solid.
You can hear Bella Caroli's voice, her coach, in the background.
Watch this dismount. When it's great, she usually sticks it.
This is huge for the Americans. High five for Kerri Strug from Bella Caroli.
In their wildest dreams, they couldn't have imagined it have been any better than this.
Svetlana Khorkina on vault for the Russians.
Step back on the landing.
Remember, the women in this competition get 2 vaults. The best one counts.
Shannon Miller got chalk in her eye during the bar warm-up. She's been rubbing it for a while now.
John, that happens, and it basically blinds you.
She also has been nursing severe tendonitis in her left wrist that kept her out of the Olympic trials. Shannon holds a world title on the uneven bars. And Kerri Strug has been working with Caroli for years. She bounced around to many different gyms after the 92 games.
Khorkina, a 9.7. And Kerri Strug score a 9.787.
Dominique Moceanu.
I talked about great composition. Bella Caroli has done a good job choreographing this routine. She's tiny, but she can fly on this event. Now, pay attention to the dismount. I don't know if she's going to do it. She may unveil a new dismount.
Only 14 years old.
She's actually a little bit tighter today than I've seen her. A little tighter form. Here comes that big dismount. Full twisting double layout.
Hold on.
Those are her parents, Dimitri and Camelia Moceanu.
Three huge routines in a row for the Americans.
That's what we're talking about. No, that's from now on. All right. Yes. Yes.
Don't go away. Welcome back. Moceanu's score is up a 9.812. That means a 9.787. 2 of them, and this 9.812. 2 more good scores, and the Americans could pass the Russians after this rotation. As Amy Chow is next.
This routine is simply incredible. This is her forte. She has the most unusual skills in this routine. It's just plain old neat.
Amy's 18 years old from San Jose, California. Remember, she had that horrible crash on the balance beam head first in the Olympic trials. Got up and finished the routine, and that's the only reason she made it here.
Boy, not a mistake so far from this entire U.S. team, but the highlights still to come.
Get ready for this dismount.
Double twisting, double somersault, 2 flips, 2 twists.
The Americans are nailing it, and the crowd loves it.
This truly is a team of superstars. We've been reading all week long in the paper, coaches from different countries saying they have no weakness. Certainly none right here. 2 flips, 2 twists. Incredibly difficult, just a small hop on the landing.
We're going to go over to Russia on the vault now. Yelena Grosheva.
I don't necessarily think this is a strength for the Russians. People have been asking, gee, what about the Americans starting on bars? Is that a disadvantage? She has had difficulty on this event.
Big hop forward there, Elfie. Big hop forward. And I think a little bit of what's happening is the Chinese men, they came out so strong.
9.837, the highest score thus far for the Americans. Shannon Miller. And if the others were great, she is quintessential bars. Keep in mind, the best finish for the U.S. in a fully attended Olympic Games is 3rd as a team in '92. The Americans are in 2nd. One at a time, one by one, they are cranking it.
This team is hot, John. They are absolutely on. It appears they want it. They are going after everything.
Steve Nuno, Shannon's coach.
Beautiful job. All right.
What happened last night in the men's competition, the Russians came out, put a lot of pressure on the Chinese. The Chinese folded. We're seeing the Americans come out extremely strong.
The Romanians are doing very well on beam. I'm going to try and get you over there. Well, the Russians have been having their problems on vault. They've been averaging on beam, the Romanians, about a 9.7, almost a 9.7. While the Romanians are in beam, the Russians are in vault. The Ukrainians are in floor exercise. The Americans will next move to beam. We just had a fall on the vault for the Russians.
Rosa Galieva, big fall.
Just moments ago, Rosa Galieva.
You know, the Russians were practicing earlier this morning. A lot of tears on this team.
The leading Russian, watch this.
Misses her hand right there.
Oh.
And there is no way you're going to put that to your feet after that happens.
Galieva's first vault, though, was a 9.675.
Come on, Dominique!
Shannon Miller's score is long incoming. The scores for the Americans have been incredibly high.
John, when the scores come up so quick for every gymnast and then they slow down, that means there is a discrepancy. The judges are discussing it.
The crowd is waiting and chanting. No. 9.787. So nothing lower than a 9.787 for the Americans on bars.
Steve Nuno pointing to the score. He's probably very confused. It's very low.
Dominique Dawes In her second Olympic Games, you saw that graphic, the oldest member of the team with a lot of experience.
And when this young lady hits this set, she absolutely flies on her release moves. I don't think I've ever seen anyone take this skill that you're about to see coming up on the high bar as high as she performs it. Watch this.
Right here.
They call her Awesome Dawson. She is that. USA on the move to try and upset Russia. Her score's coming up. We're back in the packed Georgia Dome. Dominique Dawes has just received her score of 9.850. Let's go down to Beth Rouillet.
If it looks like it's been all USA here this week, it's not been the case for Romania. They got here and an athlete went down with an injury. They have had problems because they had an early morning rotation and started out so early in compulsories. The coach, Octavian Bellew, has complained about everything from transportation to his girls' sleeping schedule to the judging scores. So tonight, as you see all the American flags and you hear all the cheers, think about this night from the Romanian perspective.
In good times, they grow up twirling and cartwheeling. Romanian children all seem to play gymnast. And their imagination takes them to Deva, the place where those twirling dreams can come true. Where they can become the princesses of gymnastics. It is a place that makes world champions. Where they can become this, a team that's won gold or silver in the last 5 Olympics. They are the country's biggest celebrities, but they're teenagers. Did you think they would be so different from teenagers here? They're a family, and their togetherness shows up everywhere. One father, and they call him by name. They mark life in medals and the sparkle of victory. But in those eyes, you also see the Romania that isn't a fairy tale. This is downtown Bucharest, another place Romanian children know about. And these are the leftovers of a brutal dictator named Nicolae Ceausescu. He created a skeleton city, and with it, thousands of orphan children. Babies with AIDS, and kids living like this. But Romania is a nation of believers. And in that faith, students led a Christmas revolution in 1989. Boys and girls overthrowing a government, dying for freedom. And so on Sundays, parents clean the grave markers of children they have buried, children sacrificed for a future. How much a Romanian child has already known dark nights and a return of sunshine. These are lessons that aren't supposed to be learned until adulthood. And what of the dreams? Before, gymnastics was a tool the government used to decorate its image. Now, it is the inspiration of hope and healing. New faces to celebrate something so Romanian, and in each, a reason to believe. Tonight, as Romania reaches for gold, the kids will look to Milo, Lavinia Milosevic, for strength. In Simona Amenar, they see a gymnast of grace. The sparkle is in Alexandra Marinescu. She's the one they compare to Nadia. And from Gina Gogin, the lesson of perseverance. Look into her eyes. She is the face of the nation. It's a team that's put together by a man who has lived in a one-room dormitory for 15 years, Octavian Bellu, who keeps the dream alive.
And now, yet another face of the country of Romania, Alexandra Marinescu. She is the youngest member of the team here, but she is also considered to be the most proficient. She has been compared by the entire country to Nadia Comaneci. And Nadia has said she is flattered by that comparison. The beam awaits her.
The beam was the one event that caused so many problems for this team. However, Alexandra was wonderful, wonderful on this event. Top score.
The Romanians have endured many hardships here in Atlanta. When they arrived to train, this young lady, Anna Maria Bican, seriously injured her knee. You see her leaving the hospital earlier today. Seriously injured her knee, had to have surgery, and she was out for the games. They lost another young lady, and now they're only competing with 6. All the rest of the teams on the floor have 7 members. The pressure is on for Alexandra Marinescu. On the balance beam.
In this competition, John, all these ladies have very difficult elements. It's just a question of who can stay on.
These are the optionals that count the remaining 50% that will help decide the team gold. We had the compulsories 2 days ago. These are the flashier, more difficult exercises for the women.
Oh, she's fighting. First serious tumbling series.
Very artistic gymnast. The Romanians are having an incredible run on beam here. We're seeing great gymnastics all around this gym.
You heard me mention that problem with Anna Maria Bican having surgery on her knee. Also, Lavinia Milosevic, team captain, sprained her ankle. Andrea Kokovan suffered an injury. She did not make the trip to Atlanta. They were, as soon as they got here, demoralized.
Whoa!
And that was close. Very, very close. Almost sat that down and would have been a mandatory deduction, but somehow held on.
Also, Tim, I've noticed she took out a major skill that she's been performing all week long. It was a full twisting skill, very risky, but here on the dismount, almost sat this one down.
The Ukrainians were in 4th position entering this first rotation, and Lilia Pokipayeva is next to go on the floor exercise. you heard the same music over and over again the last couple of days in the men's and women's compulsories. You may select your own music for the optionals.
She is my favorite gymnast in this competition because she combines the artistry with the athleticism so well. Watch this first tumbling pass. Incredible. Double front with a half twist.
Keep in mind, the Americans are finished on bars. They will rotate next to the beam. The Russians are just finishing up on floor. To date here, the Russians in this rotation faltered on the vault, the Romanians faltered on the beam, and the United States were near perfect on the bars. That means the U.S. could move into gold medal position after this first rotation, depending on how the Russians finish up here.
That's out of bounds, 110.
'95 world all-around champion Lilia Podkopayeva. The Russian coach, Leonid Arkayev, has said that she is the female gymnast he misses having the most in the post-Soviet breakout.
You know, John, her coaches want her to be an actress out there on the stage, and this was quite a performance. Just put on some point shoes. She looks like a ballerina out there. Absolutely beautiful. What a treat. Tumbling pass. This is really a shame because she prides herself on sticking those landings. This was the final run, one step out, but that means 110.
She's marching to her next rotation before she gets her score. By the way, Alexandra Marinescu's score on the balance beam was a rather low 9.60. And so depending on Podkopayeva's score on floor, a 9.762, so it will be close to see who is in first place after the first rotation. As the standings come up, and yes, the United States has taken the lead away from Russia for the first time in history. 3 more rotations. They will be on the beam when we get back. With the United States finished up on uneven bars, they have now taken the lead away from Russia. The U.S. is in gold medal position. That's the good news. The bad news is, Elfie, that they are on balance beam next.
And remember, the balance beam was the event that caused them so many problems in compulsories. Anything can happen here.
The balance beam coming up for the Americans. 6 girls on the beam when we get back.
This is the place for it, just for the taste of it, just for the look of it, just for the feel of it, just for the free it, just for the free it, just share it all, dying cold. So making memories, and it's just you and me, just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
I throw a 9-pound shot put 51 feet. I bench press 155 pounds. I jump further than all but 128 men in the world. I have red toenails.
This is big news. This is unbelievable. I
gotta let everybody know.
Join Friends and Family free and get 1 free hour of calls automatically. Every month to other MCI customers. No names, no list, free calls every month. There's no better savings than free, honey. Call now to sign up for this new plan, Friends and Family free. Free calls, whoopee!
Is it possible? Can a bank give you more time? Bank of America can, with our Versatile check card. It's faster than writing a check, and it works wherever Visa works. The money comes right out of your checking account. The Versatile check card. Ask about it today. Because even a little time can mean a whole lot. Banking on America. Bank of America.
It's the first must-see TV family comedy.
A traditional family dinner. What do you guys say?
I was supposed to have dinner with my dad and stepmom.
Couldn't you do that another night?
But what if we're just going to be Dad and Mary Ann, with Mary Ann's son from our first marriage is getting married for the second time. His fiancée has her kids for the weekend, so they're coming. And Grandpa met this really nice black woman in rehab. And they're both coming. So I'm afraid Dad would be pretty hurt if I didn't show up, because I think he was hoping to have a traditional family dinner of his own.
Something So Right, Tuesdays this fall on NBC.
Welcome back, and if you are a fan of the United States, do not go anywhere. They are in first place for the first time in history after one rotation in the team competition, the final here at the Olympic Games. And what's happened is the Romanians are making a chase on the Russians. They are about 4/10 of a point behind Russia. Russia is 4/10 of a point behind the United States. The United States will be warming up on balance beam. They have taken Amy Chow out, so she will be the odd person out because she has had some problems on the beam. She had a serious problem back at the Olympic trials. Watch very closely her head here. She slips and strikes her head on the side of the beam. She had a nice knot after that, and had she not gotten back up and finished the routine at the trials in Boston, she would not be here today. What a courageous fighter.
Oh, it was incredible. She basically did that routine with one eye shut. And the reason why Amy's off beam as well, John, is because she has a lot of difficulty in a routine, and I think it's a little risky to take those chances in today's team competition. There's room to err. This young lady is first up for the USA. She's typically solid and consistent.
We should tell you that the United States' biggest problem in the compulsories was on this piece of apparatus.
And typically, John, the first athlete sets the stage. I think if Amanda Borden goes up there and doesn't just make it through, but does a good routine, it'll settle this U.S. team down for balance beam. She has the nerves of being in the Olympic Games. She has the fans screaming, and she has the blaring music of the Romanians on floor exercise to contend with. Amanda Borden.
First big combination coming up right here. This will set the stage. Gosh, she looks confident. Amanda may not have some of the more exciting elements that we're going to see later on from this U.S. team. But as I said, it's so important to be on first one up.
It is so easy to doubt yourself just a little bit on beam, and when you do, you don't necessarily fall off, but you have what's called a balance check, and I don't think she's had one thus far.
Amanda's 19. She narrowly missed a berth on the Olympic team 4 years ago.
Just the dismount. She has done her job. That's what they asked for. She delivered.
The countries that are challenging the United States are Russia just behind them and Romania. They will put Ukraine in fourth position. We'll be following those stories for you.
I tell you, I have seen Amanda Borden compete many times, and this is no exaggeration. This was the best beam routine I have ever seen her do, bar none.
She is looking for that score. 9.725. She'll take that one. The United States has not had a score lower than that yet. Her training partner, Jaycie Phelps, what she's looking at is a piece of apparatus that tripped her up 2 days ago. She fell off the beam in compulsories. The whole team was shaken. It took Shannon Miller to get up there and do a near perfect exercise to settle everybody down. Let's watch.
It was so uncharacteristic to see Jaycie fall in compulsories. This is what we're used to seeing. This is the kind of work she's capable of.
We just had a fall off the uneven bars for the Russians. 4 things going on at once here. U.S., Russia, Ukraine.
That fall will give the United States a little bit of breathing room.
Jaycie Phelps was 24th as a junior. 3 years ago, she almost quit the sport.
Whoa.
While Jaycie was on, the Russians, who are in second place, Yelena Dolgopolova, watch.
Very difficult element we're going to see, but it doesn't matter how difficult it is. If you fall off the apparatus, it is 0.5 of a point right there.
The scores coming up for Jaycie Phelps. This place is breathless.
You know, though, John, I'd be surprised if it went up here. Amanda was so strong out of the blocks, and Jaycie just some slight little balance checks.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with her score in a moment. Jaycie Phelps' score on beam, a 9.60.
So as I said, the score did drop. Typically, they are supposed to go up. You put your stronger gymnasts later up in the lineup.
And Tim, it was because of the dismount.
Kerri Strug's up there now. If you've not heard us say it before, this thing is 4 feet off the ground, 4 inches wide.
Look at the face. She is not giving up.
We have seen Kerri Strug's confidence grow almost logarithmically this year. She's had a couple of great opportunities because of athletes being injured. At the American Cup, she was able to win the title.
Started with that first big international win at the American Cup.
Before that, it was Bert and Melanie Strug, her parents. She's on her way to her coach.
That's what we were talking about. All right. Fantastic. Good job. Good job, Kev. No, that's all. Let's go strong. Sure, why not? Yes.
We've seen him coach Nadia, Mary Lou, and And with this crowd here behind Kerri and the rest of the Americans, how would you like to be Milo? Lavinia Milosevic from Romania.
John, she's been around a long time. She is very cool, and this is her event.
She has a swollen ankle that she hurt. She twisted it. She's the leader of a team that is 2 men down, but they are competing with 6. They should have 7 here.
And John, they are not going quietly.
Something's happened. There's either the wrong music or she wasn't ready.
Oh boy, and that
can rattle an athlete.
Her music is supposed to be hooked on America. Octavian Bellew, her coach, is waving his arms just before you saw him there. Well, I guess she just wasn't ready. It's the same music. Behind her is Dominique Dawes from the United States on the beam. Strug score on beam, a 9.737. Milosevic knows how to do this routine. She scored a perfect 10 to win the floor exercise in 1992. One of only 2 perfect 10s in the games. Lavinia Milosevic. The roar went up for Dominique Dawes' beam, and that has to be disconcerting.
And you can't have a tougher competitor than this young lady right here. The crowd going absolutely crazy. She misses her cue on her music, but still she is not flustered at all.
All right, now here is Dawes' routine on beam.
And it doesn't matter where Dominique competes. Everywhere she goes, she is a crowd pleaser. She is so powerful. Everything she does with amplitude. Look at the height of those jumps.
Filling you in with some scoring, the Russians averaged a 9.6 on bars. The Americans averaged a 9.8.
Here's where you're going to hear the roar. I don't know what these coaches said to this American team, because after the compulsory competition, they could have moved ahead of the Russians heading into this event. They were rattled on the beam, as many countries were, but not today.
We've been keeping our eye on the uneven bars where the Russians are, and they have been making a comeback after that fall early on. Big stuff. And her score was a 9.725, Dominique Dawes. So the Americans still cranking it out on the beam. Milosevic's score on floor, a 9.812. Americans still on the beam. We'll be back.
NBC's coverage of the Centennial Olympic Games is brought to you by the Document Company, Xerox, a simpler way to do good work, and by BMW, official international automobile sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Games and U.S. Olympic team.
Shannon Miller is up next on beam for Team USA. It was her beam routine in the compulsories that steadied everyone and got them back on track. She is the most decorated gymnast in U.S. history. Here's Beth Ruyek.
We still call her by her full name, Shannon Miller. Usually we just say Olga or Nadia. And of course, Mary Lou. One name and you know the gymnast and the accomplishment. But she's won more medals than any of them, so why aren't we on a first name basis? Why isn't it just Shannon on the list?
Who says it's not? I mean, it's not my place to say, you know, who's in that line. It's up to the people that watch gymnastics, and it's who they choose and who they like.
In '92, everyone talked about Kim. But it was Shannon who quietly led the team to a bronze medal. And it was Shannon who came within a breath of an all-around gold medal. Maybe an Olympic gold makes things different. Maybe it's not the same when it's silver.
For me, it wasn't losing a gold medal, it was winning a silver. And that's the way I've always looked at it.
If silver is enough, why has Shannon Miller been back in the gym almost every day for the last 4 years? Doing routines thousands of times, not even caring how much it hurts. Shannon Miller is all about hard work and trying to make it perfect. Her focus is to leap in the gym, not necessarily through the TV screen. It's just her personality, her coaches say.
She doesn't like to be in the limelight. She may not have the commercial appeal or the bubbly personality. I mean, she wasn't a little pixie Romanian that came up from poverty to, you know, gold medal. I mean, she's your average all-American kid.
I'm not a Mary Lorette. I'm not real bubbly. That's just not my personality. I'm more quiet. But, you know, if you get to talking to me, I'll talk fine and everything. I'll talk all day long. But as far as competition goes, I like to stay focused.
She has chosen to let us know her only as a gymnast, the one who is always chasing perfection. Someone different than Olga, Nadia, and Mary Lou.
No one will consider Shannon Miller in that group until she's gone. When Shannon Miller's gone, her record will stand brighter than anyone's star, because she holds so many records over a long period of time. She wasn't a flash in the pan that came in and took the world by storm.
Well, the one record she has not held, the one medal she has never worn around her neck, is Olympic gold. Shannon Miller, balance beam.
Staff could not have prepared this team any better than they have. You know, they were at a training camp in North Carolina prior to the start of these Olympic Games, and their training camp was in a coliseum on a podium. Certainly a much better preparation than they had in Barcelona, and then they topped off the week with an exhibition in front of 17,000 fans.
It's always been said that Shannon has toiled in the shadow first of Kim Zemeskal at the 92 games. And then this past year in the shadow of Dominique Moceanu. But so far, she has been the most solid competitor for the Americans. Compulsory's on.
Not even a waver in this routine, just the dismount.
Shannon Miller and the rest of the Americans are hot. They are very hot. Her score coming up. Welcome back. Shannon Miller scored 9.862 on the balance beam. What indeed did the coaches say to these American women? Next up, Dominique Moceanu, 14 years old in the Olympic Games. At this point in time, the United States is still ahead of Russia. We are in the second rotation of 4.
Perfect. You know, John, I've watched these young ladies train, and they do an average of 10 beam routines in every practice.
We have a microphone on Bella Caroli, her coach. I want you to hear it.
And tight, nice height. Yes! 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 And long. Yes! Gorgeous! Good. Yes. Clean. Good job. Right. Nice and easy. Yes! Good, Domi. Nice and clean. Clean, smooth. Smooth. And stay! And we got it! We got it!
Talking about. That's what we're talking. Good job. Good job, little piggy. Good pour now. Is that right? Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. All right.
It is moves like that that will win Team USA their first gold medal.
I have one word to say. Awesome.
You know, you dream your whole life of going to the Olympic Games, and this is what the dream looked like to all 7 of these girls. They couldn't be doing any better.
While this was happening, Svetlana Horkina and her Russian team were on uneven bars, and despite a fall from one of their team members, their scores have been well over 9-7. And again, they're in second place entering this rotation, second place to the United States.
She's very tall on this event, but very elegant. Long lines add to the unique look that she carries on this event. She does some great skills.
When she was first starting gymnastics, the coaches didn't want to take her because they felt like she would be too tall.
That's a new skill there, John. Capitalizing on her long body. It's just incredible what she can do on this event.
And her score was a 9.850, which keeps the Russians very, very close to the United States. And back here with the United States marching to their next rotation. The standings will show you that they are firmly established in gold medal position. 2 more rotations for the United States and the rest of the best in the world. Merely 5/10 separate Russia from the U.S., and they will try and hang on.
So we are halfway through the optionals portion of the team final. Only 2 rotations left. The U.S. still holding that lead over Russia. The Americans go to the floor exercise next, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Still to come from the Centennial Olympic Games, the conclusion of the gymnastics team competition. After 7 decades, no women's gold for Team USA. Miller, Moceanu, and the rest of the Mag 7 attempting to make history. NBC's coverage will continue following your local news.
Welcome back. John Tesh with Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel. And after 2 rotations, the United States is in gold medal position. For Team USA, they have 2 more pieces of apparatus. Jaycie Phelps on floor exercise. Jaycee's shoulder there. The Russians are on beam. Russians are chasing the Americans. They are nearly 5/10 of a point behind them. Jaycie Phelps, named for her parents, Jack and Cheryl, on her way to Mary Lee Tracy, the Olympic coach, and her personal coach.
This American team just can't seem to do anything wrong. Floor exercise, very stable event. The Russians are on beam. The U.S. team is putting pressure on, and it's a scary event to be on the balance beam.
The Romanians are putting pressure on the Russians. Romanians are over on vault, while the Ukrainians are on uneven bars. Jaycie Phelps trains at the Cincinnati Gymnastics Academy here at Circulon. She was not supposed to vault, but her teammate was injured.
Well, small steps like that, you're going to take a 1/10 of a deduction. In this situation, you need to nail them.
9.75 for Jaycee's floor exercise. 6-member teams, they rotate together to each piece of apparatus. So the next for USA will be Amanda.
And her first tumbling pass is the only really scary one in the routine. She's had problems with it.
A near fall on balance beam just then. Yelena Grosheva, Russia, just barely hung on.
Amanda needs to get this first tumbling pass over with, and then she can breathe easy. and right. Their preparation heading into these games, they're not just nailing things, they're having fun while they're doing it.
There is no room for a mistake here in the games. We told you about Jelena Grosheva on the beam. Let's show you what happened to her.
That is amazing that she even was able to stay on that front flip. Tremendous fight.
But it's still going to cost her about 3/10 of a deduction.
Leonid Arkayev, the coach, told us this morning that he was worried about all the screaming and yelling here in America for the USA while his team was on beam. Dominique Moceanu is next. John Tesh with Tindak and Elfie Schlegel in a sold-out Georgia Dome. Amanda's score for floor, 9-7-6-2.
And John, that's exactly what they want. They want to see those scores build.
Dominique Moceanu, and I will tell you that if she nails this place will come apart.
Get ready to have some fun. This is called Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Just had another Russian fall on the beam for the first fall. The music, the devil went down to Georgia. Little angel here in Atlanta.
If you had any questions about that injury, there's your answer.
There was so much talk that she wouldn't even be here. She missed the Olympic trials. Stress fracture in her right leg. She sat out to get therapy. Couldn't even land on it for weeks. Both she and Bella Caroli in tears over it. And now the waiting and one more piece of apparatus for Dominique Moceanu, the vault.
Well, that incredible routine and that fall on the balance beam means that the Russians will count a very low score.
Watch this. This is the Alpina.
Same move as Grosheva.
Score for Dominique is up 9-8-3-7. There is nothing stopping the Americans. Arkayev from Russia was worried about this. He was worried about the pressure on his Russian girls, and it has been brought to bear. Dominique Dawes.
It's funny, John, it's exactly what his Russian men did to the Chinese last night. The Americans are going out there, and they are applying the pressure to the Russians.
In '92, she won a bronze medal as a member of the U.S. team. She and her team are headed for gold if this keeps up.
They are feeding off each other. This is absolutely wonderful. You know, there isn't one person out there that should even criticize or question these scores. They're well-deserved.
While Dawes was on floor, Svetlana Horkina and her Russians up on balance beam. And she needs a good performance here because Liapina had a low of 9-2, Grosheva 9-4. They can, of course, drop that low score of 9-2. But they need a good performance here to stay up with the Americans. Horkina and the rest trained by Leonid Arkayev, who just last night helped his Russian men's team capture the team gold.
You know, we saw that unusual bar set, which scored very well. Well, she matches that innovation on the balance beam. She does some of the most unusual skills.
Her coach, Boris Pilkin, had to figure out new ways to bring difficulty. She has a longer body, as we've talked about, so she does some unconventional things that work very well.
She has also said that because she's so tall, it's more difficult for her to get around in somersaults, but that when she does, it looks that much more beautiful. She's right.
Different dismount here.
So that was Svetlana Horkina's routine, while Dominique Dawes was on the floor. There's Arkayev there. That was good for a score of 9-8, a huge score for the Russians, but as I mentioned, they need it. Now, Shannon Miller, floor exercise, the second to last to go for the Americans. Miller will be followed by Strug, and then the Americans will move to their last rotation, the vault. Dominique Dawes, 9-8-5-0. It does not get much better than this. They are sticking everything. And the most secure, the most talented, many say, gymnast here, Shannon Miller.
Well, that is a huge break for Shannon. It's going to cost her a couple of tenths.
After landing short on that mount, this is really difficult, full twisting double.
The 19-year-old from Edmond, Oklahoma, in her second Olympic Games. 5 Olympic medals 4 years ago. Will it be gold tonight? check Shannon Miller's score. She is waiting for it. We're waiting for the 6 judges.
Well, you know, John, this was the first real visible error in any of these routines. It is amazing that she hung on to this. Right there, could have put her hands down, could have taken the fall, but she's tough.
Serious, serious fight right there.
If you just joined us, United States is in a race with Russia and Romania. U.S. in first place. If it ended right here, they would have the team gold and make history. They're just finishing up floor exercise. One more athlete to go. That's Kerri Strug, and then they'll move to the vaults. The Russians are on beam right now.
And actually, vaulting is a great event for this team to finish on. Remember, in this competition, they get 2 vaults, and they get to take their best one, so they get to go out there and do a safe one, and then try to do the next one perfect. It's a great situation for Team USA.
What could it be?
Steve Nuno, Shannon's coach.
What in the world? Sure, the other ones are trying to break our roll. We're on a roll. They're trying to break it.
Well, Steve is obviously disagrees with the judges even before the score comes up. Sometimes you can get caught up in the heat of the moment, but there were deductions there.
The judges are being booed here in the Georgia Dome for Shannon's 9.618. What do you think?
I think it's very fair. Actually, I thought they may have gone a little bit lower because it was a huge error, but 9.618 is a great score.
Did this break the momentum for the Americans? Kerri Strug. Over on beam, the Russians' last 3 routines were all over 9.8. More pressure for the Americans here. Because of that judges conference, it delayed the floor exercise, so no one else is competing. All eyes on Kerri.
Posting the highest score. She has done her job again. She has really come a long way.
Kerri Strug doing her job for the team and trying to do it for herself. Only the top 3 gymnasts from each team will advance to the individual all-around. Kerri missed that 4 years ago. She would dearly love to go this time. Final rotations coming up. Standings after 3 rotations of 4. The United States is in gold medal position. They have widened their lead over Russia. They have doubled their lead over Russia. It's nearly 1 point. This is a tough ticket, but it didn't prevent this young lady from getting in. Chelsea Clinton is enjoying the competition here along with the rest of us. And it is hot here. Hot, not in temperature, but in competition. The Americans have never in their lives performed this well.
And what it's going to take for the Americans to not win this is they have to have at least 2 major breaks for Russia to come out on top, and Russia's got to be near flawless.
Let's set this up for you now. Russia is on the floor exercise, which is just where the Americans were. The Americans, all 6 team members, will compete on the vault. They each get 2 vaults. They will take the higher score, of course, of each one of those vaults. This is Jaycie Phelps. They are 6 performances away.
And now all she needs to do is stick it.
So like Elfie just mentioned, this is a very safe ball. It's not going to bring in a huge score, but it's not going to be bad either. Just a step forward. Now she can try to really nail the landing.
Jaycie Phelps' coach is also the Olympic coach, Mary Lee Tracy. That, of course, is Bella Caroli, who is expected to be the Olympic coach. He's coaching Jaycie, and he's coaching Dominique and Kerri. He is Kerri Strug and Dominique Moceanu's personal coach. 9.637 for the first one. So let's see what she gets for the second. Very controversial that he was not offered the head coaching job, and he told me it was a slap in the face. They gave it to his wife, Marta. And Mary Lee is also working with her.
They can choose to do a different vault, but she's going to do the same. And by the way, this is the Phelps.
For the hop.
Little bit of a hop, but a better vault. She actually was more aggressive on that one. Just barely didn't stick that one. Should be a better score.
Oh, definitely much more height and distance. The landing looked a lot cleaner as well. Still just a tiny hop.
If there are any histrionics in this, by the way, Bella was behind the barrier when Nadia won. He was behind the barrier when Mary Lou won. And now he's behind the barrier again. 9.662, a little higher. She'll take that one.
John, this next vaulter, she does the most difficult vault of the entire Team USA.
We haven't seen much of Amy Chow. They took her off of floor exercise and the beam. It's part of the team strategy, using your top 6 athletes on each piece.
She might be a little cold, too.
Oh!
Big step.
And she changed her vault. This vault is only out of a 9.9. She went for an easier vault. This is strategy.
Now, will she do the same vault or the other one?
I would like to think she'd choose to do a more difficult vault. She does it quite well, and it's out of a 10.0. But they wanted to be secure on the first vault. Just a half twist. She's very high, but has a lot of over-rotation there. That's quite a substantial step.
The Russians on the floor exercise and the Alpina's floor was a 9.712, so they are already in this rotation doing better.
And there are numbers off to the side, and the number says 4.503. That means she has changed her vault. She's going for the more difficult one.
Amy Chow's second vault.
Right now, the Americans are making it almost impossible for Russia to catch. Like I said, not just one fault. The Russians need 2 from the Americans.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Is the U.S. opening the door here?
Well, I tell you, you saw the step there, John, but this is such a difficult vault. Very few athletes in the world.
How far will they mark her off for that step?
Because it's such a difficult vault, John, probably only a 1/10 of a point. But, she's trained this vault to do it at the Olympic Games. I'm really glad she got the opportunity to do it. You want to do your hardest things. There is a little bit of form and the step, but super difficulty.
Amy Chow's second vault, 9.712. The Americans with 4 more to go. We'll be back.
NBC's coverage of the Centennial Olympic Games is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Cheering is thirsty work, always for the fans, always Coca-Cola.
Shannon Miller
Good.
I think Shannon's going to be trying an easier vault. Make sure she gets one in the bag. Here we go.
Big hop.
Yeah, she went with the easier vault, as you said, Tim. Trying to be safe. That vault is only out of a 9.9. That's the maximum score. And, of course, with the hop, she'll take a deduction.
Yeah, that's all good.
Looking over at her coach, Steve Nuno, who was with her through the 92 games as well.
She does this easier vault, like we said, because she knows she's going to get a pretty good score. This is going to not be in the 9-8 range, but it's not bad either.
That's Nuno's scoring of that vault. She's got one more. It's a 9-7. She can keep that one, of course. The Americans need to score high here to stave off the Russians, who are on floor.
She went with the bigger vault, John. It was a 1.5 twist. It's worth a 10.0, but a little messy on the landing. She's going to take a big deduction.
All right. Okay? All right.
The question is, what does this mean for the United States? The Romanians looking dejected, still in third place in bronze medal position. 9.637, so it'll be that first vault that counts for Shannon Miller. Dominique Dawes is next.
3 competitors left, and she'll start out with the same vault we just saw from Miller. It's a strong event for her.
The Americans are vaulting for the gold medal, and they have got to pour it on here.
Now that is Dominique's vault. It's big, it's powerful, but let me tell you, if she can stick it, it's going to be a big score. That's what she needs to do the second time around.
You saw Kerri Strug, Elfie, warming up. She'll be coming up. Dawes' second vault. Her first, a 9.737. The crowd is pumped.
The Americans have made it almost impossible. They are not giving in at all. She's already got one great vault. All she needs to do is try to stick right here.
Awesome Dawson. And the Russians on floor exercise are hearing this while they're trying to perform. Witness the home team advantage. They count 5 scores again with the team on each piece of apparatus. They can throw out one. Here's the situation now. If Dominique Moceanu gets a 9.743, then the American team will be a lock for the team gold. 9.743 or higher on either vault. She has 2 chances.
The Russians still have a couple of athletes left to go, but even if both of those athletes score 10.0, that score that John just gave.
9.762.
That would win the gold medal. Same vault as Dominique.
Whoa!
You know, I don't think that has anything to do with Dominique's injury. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that she hasn't been able to practice that vault very often. In fact, she's done very few of those here. It's all about timing. Remember, it's very difficult. It's a blind landing, a very difficult vault, 1.5 twists, but she falls very short.
And she needs a great vault, not only for her team, but for herself. The top 3 athletes after this competition advance to the individual all-around. Right now, it's Miller, Moceanu, and Dawes.
John, I don't think that score is going to be enough.
9-1-3-7. It is not. She needs, again, a 9.743 to win the team gold. Here we go. No! The same thing.
Well, this is amazing. As Elfie said, it's not because of the pain in her leg. It's because she's had very few times practicing this vault because she's been saving her body.
She looks stunned.
If you told me this was going to happen, I would have said, no way, it's not. It couldn't happen.
Almost identical to the first vault. You know, when she lands this vault, she's capable of a big score. She could have done it for the team. There's the beautiful height and distance, but look, she opened up way too early.
Yeah, actually, that was a way better vault, Elfie, as you said, but it was just a bad landing.
It was the replay of Bella, of course.
That hurts.
All right, 9.2. So she could be out of the individual all-around, and the Americans could lose the team gold to Russia. A 9.493. We've had one more Russian go. So Kerri Strug, it is up to her. If she can score 9.493, as you see her parents in the stands, or better, then she will win the team gold for the USA. She's the last to go. She's the only one who can do it.
She will also perform the same vault we just saw. Moceanu sit down 2 in a row on.
Oh! 3 falls in a row for the Americans.
This is scary.
Wait, she is limping. Kerri is hurt.
Oh, this could be really bad news, John.
Strug either turn.
Take it off. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Don't worry about it.
Kerri Strug is in trouble. She just stumbled there. She either turned her ankle.
Falls short just like Moceanu. I don't know the last time Kerri Strug did something like that. This is her event.
Up until the vault, here's the reaction of her parents. Up until the vault, it looked like the Americans would be a lock. Her first score, 9.162, not high enough. A couple of things at stake here. If Strug scores big, she will not only win the team gold, but she will advance to the individual all-around, and her teammate, Moceanu, will not. She knows what to do. She will go when she is ready. Kerri Strug is hurt. She is hurt badly.
Well, John, we saw her limping after the first vault.
She has either twisted her ankle or something worse. She hurt herself on the first vault. Probably the last thing she should have done was vault again, but she did, and now she is in a lot of pain.
The amazing thing about it, though, John, she raised her hands overhead. Her head, she finished the vault.
Standing on one leg. We have got to find out if she's a 9.712. She has done it. Kerri Strug has won the gold medal for the United States team, and she advances to the individual all-around. The Georgia Dome is all at once in pandemonium, and everyone in this place is worried about Kerri Strug. She's being carried off by 2 of the medical technicians. And Tim, she looks to be in agony.
Well, vaulting on healthy legs can sometimes hurt, John.
They're trying to get her on this stretcher. The medical facility is about 200 yards from this scene right here. First, we wonder if she's okay. Secondly, if she'll even be able to come out and get her gold medal.
Boy, I certainly hope so, John. She has trained her entire life for this moment.
The Russians are in tears. Rosa Galieva. Arkayev with her, trying to console her. He can't stop the tears. She cried those same tears 4 years ago when she got pulled out of the all-around. Svetlana Horkina. They got so close. They came in first from the compulsories, and the Americans took it away from them. Dina Kochetkova. This whole place in the Georgia Dome is in chaos. Octavian Belu. Romanian girls got the bronze, and the only word to describe this picture is stunned. And the Americans, they still don't know what happened to their teammate. Everyone you see here will get a gold medal. Dominique Moceanu, everybody's on their feet. Kerri Strug's parents, they've made it out of the stands, off to the medical facility. Let's take one more look.
This was absolutely brilliant. After that fall, she knew she was capable of standing this vault up. This is her most powerful event. She finished the vault, though, John. The hands went up. It's amazing.
Here's Bella at the same moment.
Right. Go. 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 Yes!
Well, this crowd of screaming fans is missing one very important gold medalist right now. Is Kerri Strug okay? We all want to know.
NBC's coverage of the Centennial Olympic Games is brought to you by Acura, who invites you to test drive the new flagship of Acura, the RL. And by UPS, moving at the speed of business.
Kerri Strug has gotten some treatment. She is still in pain, very emotional, but it looks like she is going to be able to come out and have a gold medal put around her neck.
You know, John, Kerri has always been in the shadows of some pretty great American gymnasts, but something that keeps playing in my mind is Bella Caroli always saying, Kerri, it will be your time, and you hate to see it in the form of an injury, boy. That was an awesome vault. She did it for the team.
It was Bella who said, she has always been there for me as a consistent performer. Tonight, she was there for Bella, for her team, for her country, and for herself.
Well, there are some tears because of pain, but I think they're tears of joy too, John.
The doctors say it is a moderate sprain and she's going to be okay. She is questionable for the all-around, of course, but that is not on her mind right now. There she is with the rest of her 6 sisters who will all get gold medals in just a few moments. Tomorrow, Kerri Strug will be on the cover of every newspaper in the world. Her story and inspiration to every youngster, to every adult who has ever had a dream to do something incredible.
The last time. Yes. Yes.
That time for gold.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
20 years ago, a big one, now a big one.
20 years ago, the big one, that was when Nadia won gold. And I think I heard them say, Tim, that they're retiring. Borden. That's Dominique's dad, who seems to be out of film. Dominique Dawes.
It's probably his 10th role, John.
Amy Chow, who almost didn't make it after that crash on the balance beam back in trials. Another courageous youngster. Jaycie Phelps. Dominique Moceanu. Kerri Strug. One more Olympic medal to add to her 5 that she got in Barcelona. Shannon Miller. No American gymnastics team, men or women, has won a team gold medal in a fully attended Olympics. Take a look at history. The next sound they will hear will be their national anthem. Seven women strong, 7 gold medals. The United States gold medal women's gymnastics team. They work together as a team perfectly, and they close it out as a team. Don't forget Kerri.
All right.
Back in Bella's arms. She left him after the Barcelona games for 5 different gym changes and finally said, I must come back to Bella.
They should have been, yes. you. Enjoy it, Kerri. Enjoy it very much. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Enjoy it.
Mary Loretton, Kim Zemeskel.
All right.
But now Bella must deposit her back on the stretcher.
Okay, baby.
And she's going to be okay. Down to Beth.
Kerri, how are you?
I'm okay.
Do you know that this is what it's like to be a hero?
Well, I'm just glad that I did well. We got the gold. It's like a dream come true, but I can't believe this happened, but it's okay.
Take good care of her, guys. And so a dream does come true for Kerri Strug and 6 of her American teammates. Olympic champions, each and every one.